which is recognition of service for someone, for Aimee Samara. Aimee, would you mind coming back up to the table? So I think for commissioners who've been at the table more recently, you know that as commissioners either term off or sunset their service here at the commission. One of the things we've tried to do as a commission is put together a few things. One is a letter that specifies, I'm going to read the letter because I think it's worth hearing, and highlights the service of said commissioner and Aimee, of course. Even though you told me not to, we wanted to make sure we took the time to honor Aimee as well. So I'm going to read this, and then I'm also going to ask that if folks are interested in sharing a few words, that we are briefed simply based upon our time in the agenda. But to not hold us back any farther, Aimee, May 5th, 2015. The Portland Human Rights Commission and the Office of Equity and Human Rights would like to express our joint appreciation for your dedication to the work of the Human Rights Commission. Your commitment to international and domestic human rights has contributed significantly to the evolving role of the HRC as an advisory body to the Portland City Council. Over the years, you have given of your time and expertise, sometimes sacrificing all else in life to serve as you felt called. No matter what the challenge or task, you have consistently led by example and embodied a mastery of true servant leadership, no small feat. Specifically, we acknowledge and appreciate that you have improved the operational structure and function of the HRC by developing decision-making processes, often facilitating us and leading as chair of the HRC. Additionally, you have been a strong voice and have brought visibility to and advocated for changes in the areas of police accountability, the city's involvement with the Joint Terrorism Task Force, the Department of Justice Settlement Agreement, and housing issues. Throughout your years with the Human Rights Commission, you have consistently weighed in on issues with an authentic and effective voice. Your organic sensibility to speaking your mind, heart, and soul on important matters of human rights demonstrates a care for the human capital of all people, particularly for those who have been traditionally underserved, marginalized, and disenfranchised. Your contributions have sustained and grown the HRC and the Office of Equity and Human Rights and our collective efforts of human rights and equity as concrete wins for humanity. And for all of that, we thank you. And it's been signed by both Dante and myself as chair. And if you guys are fine, giving some round of applause. Speech.
First? Do you want that first?
Yeah,
we've developed kind of a tradition of a prepared or not so prepared speech. I have a sort of speech. Because this has been extraordinary 3 years. Lots of meaning, lots of transformation, personal transformation. So naturally, there's been things that I've been very present to. And it was kind of surprising what showed up. So some of you know that I showed up pretty new from an international work, which was field work as a human rights monitor, protector, working human rights in the craziness of the UN emergency relief world. So I came in pretty driven and passionate, really happy to find a way to do this work here domestically. But my people skills weren't that great. And how that showed up was I was just interested in doing anything, any which way I could, just get it done. And it showed up pretty unattractive, I think, at times. And I appreciate those of you who kept with me, who didn't, throw the baby out with the bathwater, kept giving me another chance. Because I got to see a different way of doing things calmly and how to maneuver in an entirely different world was something that's so important to me. So I learned a lot from each one of you. So specifically, drive and passion through Emmanuel, straightforward presence from Kenya, hold the room drive from Dante, perpetual productive motion from Marcia, grace and patience from Daniel, clarity of purpose from Ashley, resilience through hope from Diallo, ability to tell it like it is which speaks to an uncluttered heart, Sabrina. Razor-focused ambition, Audrey. Insightful inquiry, Damon. Persistent thoughtfulness, Rebecca. Everlast commitment, from Alice. So these are things that, as I'm leaving, I'm very present to, and feel very fortunate to have been able to see in you all. So what's surfacing as I leave is the value of being personal. If I was to have another 3 years, I would dive into being personal with each one of you, because I really see how that can bind, that can support this very difficult work that we do. You do human rights work, you're either engaging alongside trauma, or, and usually, you're working with your own trauma as you make that happen. So it's the work I feel that happens within the commission, between you all, is just as important as what's happening in terms of your advocacy and your outward work. So my encouragement is get personal with each other, somehow get creative to figure out how to do that through the tight schedules and the Robert's Rules of Orders and the city rules, because it's what can amplify the meaning that happens here.
I really appreciate you offering that. That was awesome and great.
You gave me a little time.
Yeah. Look at us. We're always thoughtful, right? One of you guys, it was you, Rebecca. You're thoughtful. So, and briefly, if anyone that wants, I know again our agenda is far skewed, but if anybody would like to offer some words, please do take the
time. I'm going to think of, because I worked a lot with you, Aimee, professionally, and have come to know you personally, so I was trying to think of what to say in such a short period of time. It's a little bit challenging, actually. A lot of what I would say is reflected in the letter. But I think extending beyond that, even though you characterize your joining the group with, in need of some interpersonal skills or social skills, I actually did not see you that way when you joined. I really appreciated that you had this die-hard commitment to the work, and I felt like I could easily relate with you in that way, and that I didn't have to soften things with some of the hard stuff that I had seen in the community and where I was coming from, working with highly traumatized Native communities, dealing with suicide and gang violence and all of that. So I felt like I could just go right into the heart of it with you, and we could have those discussions, and it wasn't like I had to water it down, basically. And it didn't scare you away. I really appreciate that, because you also have a understanding of what it means to show up no matter what. And I really see you as this person that, what I meant by the servant leadership piece of that is you show up, 100% no matter what the cost to you on your within your personal realm. And I know that, that's been hard sometimes, and I just really acknowledge that kind of leadership, where someone really just gives all of themselves no matter what. And oftentimes that goes unseen, because with that sort of personality, usually folks don't need the limelight of like, oh, look at me, I'm giving up so much, but I recognize it. Thank you.
Anyone else? No pressure.
I think like that. Everything you said, and I think I learned from you of not having to like soften that blow. Like you'd sit down, have this coffee and tea, and you would not be scared about anything. And in fact, I also picked up from you just like some of the direct leadership skills. And oftentimes we think we do so much, and like she does way more. Just scheduling meetings, just to like calling, to continually emailing, to just everything that you did. I really pulled a lot from your strength, and you actually helped me to, continue to be straightforward with it. And I appreciate that, because oftentimes I feel like, oh, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or be viewed in this way, and really at the end of the day, who cares? I got a mouth, so I might as well use it, and anybody doesn't like it, they'll say no. So I really appreciate that about you. Look to connect with you still after this.
I'm not going anywhere. Thank you.
In fact, you're still going to be helping out with your rights.
Yeah.
So
I'll be doing know your rights as long as it works and until somebody else captures the attention of somebody else who wants to help out that crew.
And then I'm always texting her, so I'm just kidding. I just want to offer personally outside of the letter that when I stepped on kind of in a similar fashion to Audrey as a vice chair, I did it because I was like, something needs to happen, but I did it also knowing that I'd be stepping in next to you, and that was as a new commissioner as well, because I saw the strength in you, and so all of exactly what everyone said, I didn't see the lack of interpersonal skills or anything like that. I saw someone that was strong in what they were doing, which allowed me to go ahead and kind of take that leap of faith into leadership and look where we are now. So count a lot of what you see and what you'll continue to see as homage to your work. So thank you.
I've only known you briefly. I wanted to say that one of the things that I have observed in you, it seems like it's been a strength in your leadership, is that you seem to have a good way of balancing your passion with an understanding of how to work within a bureaucracy and how to kind of maneuver through. And that's a sense that I get from you, that you have offered that sense of balance, of being able to walk on two legs. And I think that's an important skill for all of us as commissioners.
And I'll say the same thing, because I've been there for your whole journey also, and I agree that what you captured in self-realizing is exactly, it's a real testament, I think, to where you came in, where we all continue with a group process like this, and what we can accomplish together when we learn how to operate within the context of what we're doing. Where you started and where you ended was a real journey, a real testament to your ability to adapt and to commit your passion to not just owning a line of here's how I do things, here's how I think things should be done, but here's how we can get things done together as a group. So I think that was really powerful to see in the last 3 years.
Thank you. Glad you were around from the beginning.
Well, thank you all and everyone just for taking the time, even outside of our really pushed agenda. But I think for a group of folks that does human rights work, it's really important for us first to be human and take times and moments to acknowledge the actual time and place that people do. So again, Aimee, thank you so much. And you're still on my speed dial. So you're not escaping. I'm kidding. But thank you again for your support. Oh yeah, so that's a part of